the dimly lit pantry, the air was thick with the scent of spices and old wood. Shelves lined with jars of preserves and canned goods created narrow aisles, casting long shadows that danced with the flickering light of a single bulb. It was here that Emily first heard the whispers. She had come to the pantry late one night, searching for a jar of honey to soothe her sore throat. As she reached for the jar, a soft murmur caught her attention. She paused, her hand hovering in midair, straining to catch the words. "Emily, Emily." The voice was faint, almost indistinguishable from the rustling of the leaves outside. She turned, her eyes scanning the dark corners of the pantry, but saw nothing. Shaking her head, she dismissed it as her imagination and grabbed the honey. The next night, the whispers returned. This time, they were clearer, more insistent. "Emily, help us." Her heart pounded in her chest as she backed away from the shelves, the jar of honey slipping from her grasp and shattering on the floor. Terrified, she fled the pantry, vowing never to return. But the whispers followed her, echoing in her mind, haunting her dreams. She couldn't escape them, no matter how hard she tried. They grew louder, more desperate, until she could no longer ignore them. Determined to uncover the source of the whispers, Emily armed herself with a flashlight and returned to the pantry. The air was colder than she remembered, and the shadows seemed to writhe and twist as if alive. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. "Emily, we're here." The whispers were all around her now, filling the small space with their eerie presence. She shone the flashlight on the shelves, searching for any sign of movement. Her heart raced as she reached the back of the pantry. There, hidden behind a stack of old cookbooks, she found a small door. It was barely visible in the dim light, its edges worn and splintered. With trembling hands, she reached for the handle and pulled. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. Summoning all her courage, Emily descended the stairs. The whispers grew louder with each step, guiding her deeper into the unknown. At the bottom, she found herself in a small, dimly lit room. The air was thick with dust, and the walls were lined with shelves filled with old, forgotten items. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror. Its surface was covered in a thick layer of grime, but as Emily approached, she could see faint shapes moving within it. The whispers seemed to be coming from the mirror, their voices growing more urgent. "Help us, Emily." She reached out a hand to touch the mirror surface, and as her fingers made contact, a shock of cold ran through her. The shapes within the mirror became clearer, revealing the faces of people trapped within. Their eyes pleaded with her, their mouths forming silent cries for help. Emily's heart ached for the trapped souls. She knew she had to do something, but she didn't know what. As she stood there, staring into the mirror, a voice broke through the whispers, louder and clearer than the rest. "You must break the mirror, Emily. It's the only way to free us." With a determined nod, Emily searched the room for something to break the mirror. She found an old, rusted hammer on one of the shelves and gripped it tightly. Taking a deep breath, she raised the hammer and brought it down on the mirror with all her strength. The mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces, the sound echoing through the small room. As the shards fell to the floor, the whispers ceased, replaced by a profound silence. Emily watched in awe as the faces within the mirror began to fade, their expressions of gratitude etched into her memory. Exhausted but relieved, Emily made her way back up the stairs and out of the pantry. The air felt lighter, the shadows less menacing. She knew she had done the right thing, freeing the trapped souls from their prison.